is proud to be a major sponsor of this event, offering CareFlight, the largest and safest mobile fleet, and Miami Valley Hospital, the most experienced level 1 trauma center in the region. Premier Health, our care lives here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the gentleman who's going to tell you all about this very impressive aircraft that is in front of us here, just off to the right. He's from McCord, Washington. He is Lieutenant Colonel Judd Baker. Colonel, you got it.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Judd Baker from the C-17 West Coast Demo Team. I'm joined today on the announcer stand by our Wing Commander, Colonel David Baker. It's my pleasure this afternoon to describe to you today's flight demonstration by America's newest airlifter, the Boeing C-17 Globemaster III. In just a few seconds, the crew will be performing a max effort takeoff. This maneuver will have this giant aircraft at an altitude of 1,000 feet well before the departure into the runway. Let's watch as the C-17 takes to the skies for Centerpoint Dayton Airshow. Ladies and gentlemen, the crew for today's demonstration is Major Nick Paglio, Lieutenant Colonel J.D. Ferris, Major Courtney Mitch, the loadmaster for today's demo, Staff Sergeant Brennan Casey. Crew is based out of Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. This highly experienced crew has a combined total of over 20,000. This reliable airlifter combines the intercontinental cargo carrying capabilities of larger aircraft, such as the C-5 Galaxy, with the short field landing potential of the much smaller C-130 Hercules. The C-17 is powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney F117 engines, the same engines used on the Boeing 757. Each engine delivers over 40,000 pounds of thrust. This amount of thrust allows the Globemaster III to carry over 170,000 pounds of cargo for an astounding range of up to 2,400 nautical miles without even utilizing air-to-air refueling. Ladies and gentlemen, now approaching from your right, the aircraft will perform a slow-speed pass at just under 120 knots. During the pass, please notice the wing leading edge slats and large powered lift wing flaps. These devices literally change the shape of the wing and are the key to its low final approach speed, enabling this aircraft to land and stop in extremely short distances. Ladies and gentlemen, please get your cameras ready, and this will be your best opportunity to take photos of this amazing state-of-the-art machine. demonstrate its advanced aerodynamics in action. Speaking of, the aircraft uses a quadruple redundant fly-by-wire system for the operation of flight controls. This is combined with 4 separate flight control computers, each capable of controlling the entire system independently. The system is designed to optimize the capabilities of the C-17 and yet maintain enough redundancy to protect against a wide variety of failure conditions. Another feature of this amazing flight control system is that the aircraft can be flown in an entirely mechanical backup mode, further safeguarding against abnormal situations. Ladies and gentlemen, as the aircraft approaches from your left, please notice the upturned wingtips, known as winglets. These decrease aerodynamic drag and increase fuel economy. To give you a better idea of this aircraft's overall size, those winglets are nearly 9 feet tall.
Wow, wow, wow.
In case you're wondering how big the C-17 is, the wingspan is roughly 170 feet. The tail over 5 stories tall, and fully loaded, it weighs 585,000 pounds. As you can see, the C-17 is extremely maneuverable at both high and low speeds, making it easy to operate in any tactical situation. Here's some more interesting facts about the Globemaster 3. This aircraft can fly anywhere in the world non-stop using its air-to-air refueling capability. Air Force personnel routinely fly 24-hour missions with just one single crew. The most basic crew complement required to operate the C-17 is merely 2 pilots and 1 loadmaster. The heavy-duty landing gear allows it to land on surfaces such as cement, sand, dirt, and even ice. As a result of this, C-17s have been in over 180 countries and on literally every continent in the world since the production began. Finally, all current Air Force C-17 crews are trained on the use of night vision goggles, known as NVGs, allowing them to operate while in unlit off-secure locations around the globe. Our C-17 will now maneuver for its final approach to the assault landing. Ladies and gentlemen, as our C-17 crew makes their final approach, the aircraft will be flying at just under 120 knots. They are simulating an arrival to a shortened airfield where hostile forces could be present. This versatile tactic allows the C-17 to operate at over 6,000 more airfields worldwide than a comparable commercial wide-body aircraft. watch now as our crew demonstrates the extremely short landing distance of this enormous steadfast airlifter using just over 1,000 feet of runway to bring this aircraft to a stop.
That's awesome.
The C-17 will now demonstrate its ability to back under its own power, which gives it increased maneuverability while offloading cargo, and the capability to operate at smaller, unsupported airfields.
And it buck up too. Look at that. That's awesome. It goes buck up and forward and wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the maneuvers you've seen here today are examples of those flown by every single one of our operational air crews on a regular basis, as they provide the highly responsive and flexible airlift capability for America. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's demonstration of the mighty C-17 Globemaster III. On behalf of the men and women of the United States Air Force, Air Mobility Command, and for being with us today. We hope you enjoyed this brief look at the C-17 Globemaster III,
Air Force!
the United States Air Force's core airlifter and workforce, which will continue to provide rapid global mobility for America today, tomorrow, well into the 21st century. We also invite you folks to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, hashtag C-17 West Coast Demo Team, at C-17 West Coast Demo Team.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for your United States Air Force's C-17 Globemaster demonstration team. Backup camera not included, and
Go Air
Lieutenant Colonel
Force!
John Baker.
And by the way, isn't that a beautiful landing gear? Where's that landing gear made?
I think it's in Troy, Ohio, and I do believe it's Collins Aerospace.
And you are 100% right. You take over with her. Right is right. And by the way, that's a happy landing gear. You know why? Homecoming Airshow. This is where I was born.
That's right. Perfect. It always works better that way. We've got so much more. Thank you, Judd, very much. Colonel, thank you, sir. And a great demonstration by the whole gang. Still to come, we've got a lot of good stuff going, including we're going to welcome back Michael Wiskus to the show. Coming up after that, we've got the Aeroshell Aerobatic Team. We're going to go from a 1946 birth but 21st century modified little biplane with Michael flying it, to going back in time to the 1930s, the late 1930s. I think 1938 is when they first flew, and the T-6 Texan, the pilot maker as it was known, was the third step in training for a cadet to earn his wings in World War II. They had primary training in the simplest of airplanes, like the Boeing Stearman, then going on to the Vultee Valiant, which was nicknamed the Vultee Vibrator, as kind of a mid-level of training, and then moving on to the pilot maker, the Texans. And depending on whose history books you read, and Danny and I say this at every...
Be on the stage at Theater in the Woods, and I was in the green room waiting to go on, and there was an officer talking about the C-17, and I started to listen to the speaker in the green room, and what he said almost brought me to tears. He said the C-17 is a hospital ship. Here's what we think. After you hear about the payload and the speed and the size and all the things that it can do, and then to learn that. All right, back to Rob Ryder.
Thank you, Danny Quisham. I want you to look high into the sky. The folks at Miami Valley Gaming, exit 29 off of I-75 between Cincinnati and Dayton, is proud to present the Lucas Oil Pitts biplane, flown by a guy who started his aviation love when his dad took him to an air show in Iowa when he was a mere 10 years old. And there is a book called The Little Engine That Could that meant a world to this guy, because Michael Wiskus had been told by a teacher that he wouldn't have. Wheels just 2 feet above the ground. He sets the vertical line. Starts out with a brilliant maneuver called the spiraling tower. But watch as he holds the airplane there. Lets the nose fall back through the horizon. This is a gentleman who is a gentleman. He is considered, and he flies so many different types of airplanes, from corporate jets, but this is where he gets his greatest pleasure, flying the Lucas Oil Pitch biplane. We'll see him do so many other maneuvers, like the hammerhead stall turn. We'll see him do loops. He will experience some 10 times the force of gravity on his body. That's 10 times plus or positive G's, which means he weighs 10 times his normal body weight, and as all the blood is forced up into his head, and it hurts big time. But let's watch Michael as he comes across the top. Looks like he's going to do a loop, but he's going to put a snap roll. Well, there's one, there's two, there's three, and he will pull back through. That's a loop with 3 snap rolls on top. It's called a triple. He is brought to you by Lucas Oil. They are a legend in the racing industry, and he is also presented by Lucas Oil TV. It's a television network based around the motorsports industry, where Lucas Oil has established itself as a major player with great lubricants, and they can be applied to your own vehicle as well. They can withstand extreme temperatures without foaming, and Lucas Oil is there to take care of you, whether it be your outboard motor, your recreational vehicle, or whatever it happens to be. Check out Lucas Oil. Now, Michael climbs up here, a guy who is a great businessman in terms of selling aircraft, refurbishing aircraft, and even repairing aircraft that other aerial entertainers have, in some case, damaged. He's looking at some folks right out there in the middle of the area directly in front of us. He flew right next to a group of people who have some poles out there. Those poles are about 18 feet high. People standing out there are holding those 18-foot poles. They are about 40 feet apart, and between the tops of those 2 poles is a ribbon. And very, very shortly, Michael Wiskus is going to attempt to cut that ribbon. Let's see if he's going to do it on this pass. He's high and to the left. He'll dive down. He'll get his speed up to about 200 miles per hour. And he'll check it out. But this time, he goes right under those ribbons. How about that? Hey, Dayton, how do you like Michael Wiskus?
Woo!
Yeah, we do too. He'll extend out to the right-hand side of the aerobatic box. Ribbon with the tail of his airplane. 3, 2. That's the money shot. He did it. A big round of applause for Michael Wiskus. And he does his snap rolls on the upline, a little victory roll for him there. He's a happy guy. Michael Wiskus now in the Lucas Oil Pitch experiences 10 G's in that very, very, very tight turn. Rolls it 2.5 times to upside down and pushes forward on the stick with all of that energy. Watch him as he climbs now. Almost 0 airspeed, and he's able to accelerate out of it and continues to keep the Pitch biplane rolling. Extending out to the left. Michael has been working with Lucas Oil for many, many years and is proud to be part of the Lucas Oil and the Lucas Oil Products family. Upside down, hanging from the straps to upright. And there is a 9G bolt. That means if he weighs 200 pounds, that means he weighs 1,800 pounds. As he gets to the top, he does a tail slide. He backs it up. Now he swaps ends. The power comes back on. He flirts with the buildings over there on the edge of our aerobatic box, our stage here in the sky at Dayton. Pushes the nose over for lots more energy. Do in any airplane, much made more difficult by the fact that it is a biplane. Watch for this. This is called the forward somersault. There's one. There's a double. The double forward somersault. That is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Michael Wiskus. Whoa, yeah.
He learned that from his son Shane, Rob.
On the parallel bars.
Yeah.
That's right. You got it, Danny. Oh, Michael, that was so great. Get your cameras ready because you're going to find out one more time who he's working for. It's oil, but it's not just any oil, it's Lucas oil. There it is. The knife edge pass. Standing it up on one wing, using the power of the engine. A lot. Almost turns it into a helicopter with zero airspeed. A sliding descent, flying the fuselage down the runway.
Wow, that's remarkable. Did you see how he...
Is getting ready to land here. Okay, here we go. Here's one other thing that he's going to do for us. I said he almost did the helicopter before, but let's put what 350 horsepower and a 1,400-pound airplane will do. He'll bring it to a dead stop right over the field. This is a hover. There's 7, 8 seconds, almost zero airspeed. And that is another tremendous performance from Michael Wiskus. Ladies and gentlemen, one final round of applause for Lucas Oil's Michael Wiskus. And Danny Clisson, oh, what an exciting time he is having and how excited he is about his son.
You may have noticed that there was a bird out there taking flying lessons from Michael Wiskus in the Lucas Oil Special, brought to you by Miami Valley Gaming. We thank them so much. Michael will be back. He's not done today. He's flown once.
To see our ad and register to win special pavilion tickets to next year's show. Information is there. You can get to see and do all you can do and see and do in Greater Dayton. You can download the free Visit Dayton app from Google Play or the Apple Store, or log on to www.daytoncvb.com.
That's Trader 6 for the SNJ or for the Commonwealth countries. It was the Harvard aircraft. Same aircraft, 3 different names. They are the award-winning Airshow aerobatic team, and they are brought to you by their sponsors: Airshow, Honda Generators, Champion Aerospace, Kimmel Aviation Insurance, Vegan Incorporated, Aero LEDs, CJ Aviation, Young Aircraft Engines, Higher Power Hydraulic Doors, Aspen Avionics, Lincoln Welders, Bones Headsets, Aircraft Spruce, The Goodyear Company, Concord Batteries, Strong Parachutes, Jefferson Genesis, Aho Pilots, Flight Helmets, Desert Tire, Trade-A-Plane, Ratco Aircraft Parts, Plane Power Alternators, Johns 360 Coatings, Hooker Custom Harnesses, KCM 50, JPI Instruments, L3 Communications, Aerospace Cardiology, PS Engineering, and ICON. Now let me tell you a little bit about this team. They're flying 1930s technology aircraft. Right now the weight of the aircraft is about 5,000 pounds. That means it takes a lot of strength to be able to do what the team is going to do. They make it look so easy, but I can tell you these 4 award winners, it's difficult. It takes a lot of strength. These are all big guys, and I'll introduce them to you. They are recipients of the Bill Barber Award for Showmanship, given one time a year to one team or one individual at the Sacred Place for Aviation, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. In addition to that, they were the recipients of the Airshow Memorial Showmanship Award, given one time a year at a Black Tie Awards banquet in Las Vegas, Nevada, to one team or one individual. All right, as the team comes down, they call for the smoke on, the music on. I'll introduce the team to you now. Off on his right is Brian Reagan. The airplane closest to us is Steve Gustafson. And back in the front, the Diamond Formation. Now again, the technology of the aircraft is such that it's not a light nimble airplane. It's a handful of 1930s technology. We're not bad-mouthing the airplane. It's a fantastic trainer airplane. It's still very much in demand around the world. It is the airplane used for racing at Reno, Nevada, used by demonstration teams and used by training. As this formation barrel roll may be one of the most difficult maneuvers known to travel. Decreases, you'll hear the engine sound of 600 horsepower of a breath with the engine. Now the team has many favorite maneuvers. This may be one of mine. It is to the veterans. It is the signature, one of the signature maneuvers of the award-winning Airshow aerobatic team. The veterans downward bomber salute. So as team leader, Mark Kelly brings the team back in. He front position are looking at nothing but the leader. Right here he calls for smoke on now. As they pull down, he calls right, and the team picks forward. Punch up. Salute. All right, now it's time for a little head-on action. Off on your left, it's a left wingman. That is Steve Gustafson. To your right, it's a right wingman, Brian Reagan. As they head towards one another at a speed of about 400 miles per hour. They'll do the triple cross. Inside one another and flying upside down. They call contact. That means I hit. They cross the dirty double cross on top. Then spinning away. They do the exciting triple cross. All right, higher to your right. Draw your attention to the team leader. That's Mark Henley. He is followed by the command on the very top of the loop. The snap roll. Do not look at the airplanes, look at the smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, for the spectators and our veterans, the twin punch in the sky by the Airshow aerobatic team. And how did you like that maneuver? Now, the team coming back in, I will reintroduce the team as they come back in. Very down. In element number 2, here's leading Mark Henley from Birmingham, Alabama. He is followed by Jimmy Porter from Monroe, Louisiana, followed by Brian Reagan from Lafayette, Louisiana. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what I like about the South. And back in the tight formation again is the mark of a real professional. Now, if you'll hold up your right hand, look at your fingernails above the horizon and bury your thumb. In flight, that's a figure 4 formation. Position Jimmy Porter. That means there's more airplanes to the right of the leader than to the left. Figure 4, strong right. All right, now as they come back in the most difficult time possible, when they are turning, diving, and upside down, the airplane farthest away from finger four strong right and slide into the slot position. And ladies and gentlemen, that is one cool maneuver. Give the team a big round of applause. Oh, that is hard to do on a consistent basis. And look at that tight formation once again. I gotta tell you, I call these guys the happiness boys. Wherever they go at an air show, they made so many friends. They're four gentlemen from the South, and they represent the South very well. They are nothing but great fun. Now, great photo opportunity for your eyes and your cameras. As you look at the overlap in the bottom of the aircraft, check this close formation. And again, the wingman and the slot position are doing nothing but looking at the leader. You think the leader has an easy job? He does not. He's got to think about the wingman, about the lag in time between when he does something and when they follow. The wingmen have a point on the fuselage of the leader, and they constantly maintain aileron, rudder, and elevator to constantly keep that position, along with a little jogging of the throttle. So it's a tremendous amount of work. The wingmen do not look out the window. They allow the leader to be the eyes, the ears, the direction, and the altitude for the team. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pure discipline. It is hard enough when you're flying right side up, but when you're upside down, that becomes even more of a challenge. Now, back in that tight diamond formation, you hear the speed pick up and the across the top now into the diamond formation loop. Now, a little bit of surprise for the team. Oh, hey, what's happening? Brian Franken pulls out, follows the leader. Steve pulls out, he follows the leader. Jimmy Foreman's in the trail position. Where's the leader going? State fair, the county fair always comes to town. They always have a Ferris wheel. And this is a salute to summertime fun, especially like in Midwestern states like Ohio. When we were kids, we rode a bike outside of town where the carnival of state fair was. Skidded to a stop on our bicycles and looked for our little 8th grade girlfriends to be alone with them and to take a ride on the Ferris wheel. And this is the Airshow. From the other town, you can watch the summer stars come down. Gentlemen, a big round of applause for your award-winning Airshow aerobatic team. Oh, the happiness boys make it look so easy. Something is going to happen that's a departure from their routine. And it's a aerobatic team is not a team that quits entertaining. And it's the missing man formation. Reintroduced at a manufacturing site in Canada, and another
a gentleman whose leadership, his passion, and commitment to this show, this organization, the U.S. Air and Trade Show, and the Centerpoint Energy Dayton Air Show presented by Kroger. A gentleman whose name was Don Kinlan. He participated in growing this show from a huge regional show into one of the most important air shows in all of North America, and it has remained so. He was at the helm when the United States Air and Trade Show turned it from this regional show into an international event with vendors, manufacturers, and companies from all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your kind attention. We loved Don Kinlan as much as he loved this show and the city of Dayton. Thank you so much for your appreciation of, as Danny said, the father of the Dayton Air Show. We've got so much more to come. We're going to land the Airshow aerobatic team here in just a minute, and we thank Mark Henley, Brian Reagan, Steve Gustafson, and Jimmy Fordham for
all of the bomber pilots. It was graduation time. If you passed your course in this advanced trainer, you were ready for the combat arena. And by the way, this airplane overtrained you for the P-51, the Corsair, or even, late in the war, the F-8, if you were training in that, but it never saw combat for the U.S., but a lot of our pilots trained in it. And it was getting instruction in this aircraft, AT-6, Advanced Trainer 6, the Navy and Marine Corps quality SNJ, and the Commonwealth countries, like the UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and others, called it the Harvard after that higher learning institution. All right, we'll walk for the team to face you as they get ready for the last team member to come in. This is pure fun. And you know, it's a tradition. It's a tradition for our team members. Somebody that wins the NASCAR, they usually like to do a burnout. They just burn those tires out at the start-finish line, and sometimes the car disappears. Well, NASCAR has got nothing on the Airshow aerobatic team, because you're going to watch a little bit of magic, a little bit of sleight of hand, a little bit of illusion, a little bit of nature as they create their own cumulus clouds, thunder and lightning. Ladies and gentlemen, now you see the aerobatic team, and now you don't. And you see the lightning, and you hear the thunder, and you see the clouds. And ladies and gentlemen, from out of the fog and the smoke, give a big wave to the award-winning Airshow aerobatic team as they jump through the smoke. It is Mark Henley, it is Brian Reagan, it is Steve Gustafson, and Jimmy Fordham, your award-winning Airshow aerobatic team, and they will be back tomorrow.
Seeing him scoot down the runway, Danny, I couldn't help but laugh my butt off. It was so funny. They normally land together, but the missing man put him in a little back out of the way. That is great. You know, there are air shows around this country that are not as fortunate as Dayton, because we always get one of the major jet teams. But those shows who don't, their headliners are often the Airshow aerobatic team.
The Happiness Boys from the South. Let's see, they're located in our program. Mikey had that a moment ago. Oh yeah, they're
26.
Page 26 of your program. Open that up and you can learn a little bit more about the team and their aircraft and some of the stats and their awards. Cool guys. All right, who we got to thank? Oh yeah, we got some fun here. We're gonna keep on going.
We are.
Yes.
Now, you know, I tell you what, Danny, you and I are going to share part of this deal, but But the airplane that's about to take off right now, prior to the time the FA-18 Super Hornet takes off, is it
Signed Scooter. You say, wait a minute, Scooter Yoke flies a P-51, a Quicksilver.
Right.
What's he doing?
A brief systems check, 44,000 pounds of thrust. This is the sound of freedom. Is do a weather reconnaissance check to see where the bases of the clouds are in our aerobatic box. If he can get high enough, he'll put on a high show, and that will be a great opportunity for you to see the maximum performance abilities of this fantastic jet that is now not only being flown by the United States. Now, this airplane is weighing in at about 40,000 pounds. Is that correct? Okay. Joe Kersey says about 40,000 pounds. 44,000 pounds of thrust tells me that it's better than a 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio, which says that means he can accelerate going straight up. I want you to watch just how maneuverable this airplane is, even at slow speeds. He's going to approach the runway at a very low approach speed, say around 145 miles per hour, like he would be if he were landing on the deck of a carrier. He won't touch down, but this will be an opportunity, and you might want to hold your phone sideways to track this better, because watch what he does. He'll do a slow roll right before he reaches show center. You can see the wheels are down. The flaps are extended. If you were landing on an aircraft carrier, the tail hook would be visible. But let's watch as Lieutenant Matteo Mazzetti from Sacramento, California pulls the nose up. And gets ready to do the flap pirouette. As I said, Hot Sweat's going to put up with some extremely high G-loads, and this next one is going to demonstrate the very tight turn Next maneuver. Now we just witnessed a remarkable maneuverability of the Rhino. As he whips around, this time he's going to do a loop, but he's not going to do it around one. Check it out, because right now, Lieutenant Matteo Mazzetti is going to put 4 corners on this. He's going to call it the square loop. He is the square loop. Then they will I said, do you all like the noise of the Rhino? Yeah, well, guess what? We're going to cut it back a little bit. Because the Rhino can also be a quiet intruder if it has to be. Lieutenant Mazzetti, and I really have to find out why they call him Volkswagen Jam. Do you have any idea why they call him that? Can you say it out loud?
Cannot say it to the public. It's a long story, but I'm going to share it at the bar later on.
Okay, we'll do that. He'll make a decision. I'm really eager to find out. He's going to reposition. He's going to roll it over on its back and demonstrate just how quiet the Rhino can be. Remember, this is an aircraft that has the ability to go twice the speed of sound if it wants to, but right now, it's going to be a good neighbor. On its back, the inverted whisper pass. That's getting there.
Press it down to 110 knots.
And it's just 125 miles per hour. That fast doing my 75 for a while. Whoa, that's great. That is 110.
With this thought in mind, Chief of Naval Air Training authorized the development of the legacy type flight formation, the formation maneuvers and the breakaway maneuvers that the teams will be able to demonstrate for you. And again, over 75 years, our still it's almost out of the Twilight Zone episode. There's 2 aircraft of different vintages. One launch today. The wind whistle through the oil coolers located at the leading edge of the wings. It would actually set up a whistling sound. That meant that trouble was near to the enemy. It also, the bent wing design, the wing came out from the fuselage at a downward angle and then went level to the horizon. That was due to aerodynamics, and is also the attach point low to the ground where the landing gear was attached. It was a low stubby gear to take the abuse of what's called a controlled crash and not so much of a landing on the deck of an aircraft carrier. So they had a very unique but aerodynamic design, hence the speed in the aircraft hand. It is said that last touring ace in the Corsair was Greg Pappy Boynton. There has been books written about him. Black Sheep Squadron was one. I have a dog-year-old soft-covered copy of that. I've read it 100 times. For the years that they filmed that TV series, two different names, Black Sheep Squadron and Bob Black Sheep. All-star line of Star John Valero Fett. What kind of airplane of its time to get this in your eyes and your camera? Missions. On the final pass up, Navy will pass show center and perform the imposing pitch-out maneuver for landing. After performing the pitch-out, our finish forward will continue. And the transports and the fighter aircraft to be able to keep an equal amount of runway on the right as you have on the left. This time Scott Yoke is going to do what we call a wheel landing. And you say, well, isn't every landing a wheel landing? Well, you keep the speed up, you keep the power up, and you land on first to main gear. The vulnerable landing roll-up. Now the team gained a better appreciation for and understanding of the rich heritage and ever-continuing development of naval aviation. For those of you in the crowd who represent America's leadership of tomorrow, we hope you have been inspired by what you have seen here this afternoon and will consider joining the naval aviation team. Now, as you get ready to land on the deck of an aircraft carrier, there is a specific way to do that. You come in low over the ship at a good rate of speed, and then you do a high G turn to scrub off some of that speed and approach to the landing aboard the very short deck of an aircraft carrier, sometimes pitching and rolling in a very ugly sea. The speed has, as you see, the speed has just headed down to final approach speed. Now, I'll tell you the rate of descent on this airplane coming down to the simulated deck of an aircraft carrier is the same rate of descent that we see typically on airliner aircraft. However, before we touch down in an airliner, we do what we call breaking the sink and reduce the rate of descent. You can't do that on an aircraft carrier qualified aircraft. You have to continue that 700 feet rate of descent right down to what they call the controlled crash. Hopefully, the tail hook will grab one of the four wires stretched across the deck of an aircraft carrier and held off the deck by things that look like a hockey puck. In the event you miss all four of the wires or you have a bolter, maximum power is set, you take off, go around, and try it again. All right, with the F-18 rolling a little to your left, watch Scott Yoke as he makes his way up to Airshow center line. And I'll show you one of the features. There were two variants of the Corsair in terms of their configuration. One was a land-based configuration, and the other was an aircraft carrier-based configuration. Now, aircraft carrier space is a premium. So whether you are above deck or below deck, the ability to get as many aircraft in storage area as possible was the key. So you'll watch Scott, you'll face towards us. You see the bent wing bird now? You see those definite angles? There's a photo op with the F-18 right behind the Corsair, the old and the new. How great is that? Oh, this show gets even better as time goes on.
While we're waiting for it, Danny, there's one other thing. Somebody says, how can you tell the difference between a Legacy Hornet and a Super Hornet, other than size? Oh, look at what we're going to get. Here, I'll back off. This is cool. Here, watch this.
Even new carrier aircraft fold the wings. There's the Corsair on your left. This is how they folded the wings, right at where the angle changes down the bent wing bird, and the wing tips came over the top of the canopy. There were two different ways to stow wings on aircraft. Grumman has one method, and Chance Blount, the Corsair, had this method. And the wing tips up on the FA-18 as well. Oh, this is a choreographed tribute. These guys are nice and getting better all the time.
Hog, Sweat, and Scooter. That sounds like some sort of strange pub.
Big time wrestling. And don't tell them we said that.
No. Yeah. But people did say, how can you tell the difference between a Legacy Hornet and a Super Hornet? One is the shape of the intakes. They're moved back farther and they're squared off. Very, very different from the small semicircular jet intakes of the Legacy Hornet. The other way you can tell, look at the blinking light on the tail. See it blinking in threes? Ching, ching, ching. Ching, ring, ring. Three blips. A Legacy Hornet is just one. And does it? And then I think Joe Kirksey, 2 is the tanker version, or is that is that a different one?
Yeah, so for the tanker, it's actually 3 long region.
Premier Health, our care lives here. Thanks also to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola Consolidated is proud to be a sponsor of the 2021 Centerpoint Energy Dayton Airshow. Presented by Kroger. What a great way to kick off the summer with 2 of your Dayton favorites. So sit back and watch a great show and enjoy an ice-cold Coca-Cola beverage.
And you can open up to page 32 and look out to your right and see Care Flight coming back in for a flight demonstration. We're going to tell you a lot about this great company and their history as they make their way in a flyby demonstration. Coming in from your right, it's a sound that many in the community have heard and know well. It's 2 turbomatic jet engines flying through the air at a top speed of 3 miles a minute, or 180 miles per hour, transporting patients who need critical care. This year marks the 38th year that Care Flight Air and Mobile Services, Premier Health's Air Medical Transportation Service, and Medical Intensive Care Ground Service have been providing a life-saving first patient transport from St. Mary's, Ohio, and became the 65th air medical program in the country and the first in the region. At that time, Care Flight used a small single-engine aircraft with a single patient transport capability, traveling at speeds of 140 miles per hour. As technology and safety evolved, so did Care Flight. The program upgraded to the Dolphin helicopter in 1988, providing the region with the fastest twin-engine helicopter capable of transporting 2 patients at a time. The Airbus Dolphin helicopter is known for its speed and superior safety features, like standard helicopters that have skids to land. The Care Flight helicopter has landing gear that allows it to taxi like an airplane. Additionally, the Fenestron, which is a fully enclosed